Today's date, August 31st, 2019. I have been following the news. A lot of black children have been murdered in the city of St. Louis, Missouri recently. Since April, there were 13 children who were murdered in St. Louis, Missouri since April. The children who were murdered in St. Louis were between the ages of 2 and 16 years old. Children, very young children, were shot and killed in St. Louis. I mean, it's insane. Children being murdered for what? I mean, it's ridiculous. Very young children. I mean, the youngest one was 2 years old. Two, you're just learning how to walk. And that's crazy. There were 13 children murdered in St. Louis since April of this year. One of the children who were murdered, his name was Eddie Hill IV. He was only 10 years old. And according to the news report that I read, one of his relatives has stated that Eddie was so smart that he had skipped a grade. This was a very smart young boy. And now he's gone, dead. So many black children are being murdered. I mean, it's very sad, it's very heartbreaking. Future black leaders, future black doctors, future black attorneys, future black intellectuals are being destroyed before they have a chance to become great. I mean, I don't know if it's gangs or people just solving their problems with guns, get into arguments, fighting, and somebody put out a gun. I don't know what the cause of it is, but people could say it's, poverty, racism, lack of jobs, gang violence, self-hate, whatever. I mean, but it's ridiculous. And these people who are doing the shooting and the killing, I wonder what goes through their mind when they find out that the bullet that they fired from their gun took the life of a young child. What goes through their mind, if anything, after they found out that they had just murdered a child? These people have no regard for life. just going out shooting and killing innocent children. And for what? Doesn't make any damn sense. I believe all these murders took place in the black neighborhoods of St. Louis, Missouri. Now, there was one man who was arrested, I think yesterday, for one of those murders. A 15-year-old boy was murdered in St. Louis, and police arrested a 54-year-old man in connection with that murder. A 54-year-old man. I'm not sure what are the circumstances involved in that case. I'm not sure why he shot that child, what led to it. I'm not sure. But this is sad, very sad. Children are not safe anywhere. They're not safe in school. They're not safe in church. Children are not even safe in their neighborhoods. They're not even safe inside their own home. A child is supposed to be safe in his or her own home with their parents. But you got children sitting at home being hit by stray bullets flying through the windows and killing innocent children. It's ridiculous. Now, this 54-year-old man who was arrested for killing a 15-year-old teenager, he is a white male. So I don't know the circumstances behind that murder. It was a 15-year-old boy that he allegedly shot. I don't know if it was a hate crime or what. I read the boy was on his way home and he got shot. I'm not sure the details of that case. But that is just one person who was arrested. All the other perpetrators who killed all these children, presuming most of them are black. I mean, you're killing innocent black children. You're killing your future. Now, last year, 2018, in Missouri, a white supremacist murdered a black woman. I don't forget this white supremacist's name, but he had one eye. I remember that. A one-eyed white supremacist murdered a black woman. Look it up. Go to a search engine in the internet, type in one-eyed white supremacist murders black woman in Missouri. Look it up and find out about that case yourself. But to the perpetrators who are black, I mean, you got all this anger and hatred. What are you going to do about these white supremacists who hate you? If you saw one of them, what would you do? Seriously. There's no reason for innocent children to be murdered like that. You shouldn't be destroying your community. You should be protecting it. These black children got nothing to deal with. Racism, police brutality, hate crimes. Substandard education. Education's not all that great. I mean, I don't know what they teach kids in school these days, but I mean, you should be protecting your community, but instead you're destroying it. And for what? You're killing children. What goes through your mind when you pull that trigger and end up killing a child? It's ridiculous. I mean, this stuff been going on for years, but I mean, now it's like all these children, 13 children, within a short time frame. From April to August, 13 black children were murdered in St. Louis, Missouri. And for what? It's ridiculous. And then I find out last night, 10 teenagers were wounded by gunfire in Alabama at a football game, a high school football game. I believe this was in Mobile, Alabama. 5 teenagers were wounded by gunfire. 10 teenagers out there was supposed to have been enjoying a football game and ended up getting shot. For what? And I read that the police arrested one suspect, at least one suspect. They don't know if this started off with a fight or what. But then, I mean, that was last night in Alabama. But then earlier today, there was another mass shooting in Texas. Now, earlier this month, there was a mass shooting in El Paso, Texas. A white supremacist was targeting Hispanics. And then a little later on that night, another white supremacist killed black people. And a few white people, but mostly black people. Now, today in Texas, West Texas, I think they said Midland and Odessa, Texas, something like that. Another white male perpetrator committed a mass shooting. According to news report, he killed 5 people and wounded 21 others. This is fucking insane. Life is way too short. People get murdered every single day. But these children getting murdered, I'm not sure what to make of that. Children can't be children anymore. They're getting murdered. And their friends are afraid to live life because they're afraid they might get shot. I mean, this is sick. Children are losing their lives before they get a chance to grow, to become great. What can be done about that? There's no reason why a 2-year-old child should be murdered. There's no reason why a 16-year-old child should be murdered. It's ridiculous. So many children being murdered It's not safe for children anymore. What can be done? Man, lost for words because I follow the news every day. Not just local news, but news that goes on in different cities. Children being murdered by their own parents, being murdered by their step parents or their mother's boyfriend, being murdered by other children. Or being caught in crossfires or catching stray bullets, getting killed by stray bullets. Anyone out there who has children, do whatever you can to protect them, no matter what. There's no reason why a parent should bury their own child. A child is supposed to grow up and bury their own parents, not the other way around. Anyone who has children, do whatever you can to protect your children. Care about your children. Love your children. Because life is too short. Never know what's going to happen. So do whatever you can to protect your children. Help them grow up to be the great people that they have the potential to be.